Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Ajay, and today we are going to start the tutorial that is a series. We are going to start on MS Access, that's Microsoft Access. So, what exactly is MS Access 2016? Then that's the version that we are going to work on, that is 2016. Okay, so MS Access is an application software, okay, which belongs to the Office package. So it is one of the application that belongs to their Office package. Now, not many actually use this application. Normally people only use the Word application, MS Excel, and the PowerPoint application. But this is another application by Microsoft, and I would say it's one of the most powerful application of their Office package. Okay, using this application, it is an RDBMS software, which stands for Relational Database Management System, and you can manage a huge amount of data, and you can manage it pretty easily. Okay, so one by one we are going to understand this. So what exactly is RDBMS? As I said before, that it stands for Relational Database Management System, and we can store huge amount of data, and the word relational out here means that the tables are linked with each other to generate reports. Okay, now slowly you will understand what all these things means in my upcoming tutorials. This is just an introductory tutorial today. Okay, so we can store huge amount of data the way we do it in MS Excel. Now, even Excel is a kind of a database application, you can say, because we store the data in form of there are rows and columns, and then data is stored in a structured form in a way, and then we can do a lot of things with the data. We can apply some formulas. So in a way, yes, it is also kind of a database, you can say, but it is not a full-fledged database application. This MS Access is a RDBMS, a complete RDBMS software, because when we have many a lot of data to handle, and we need a lot of reports on those data. In that case, we are supposed to use this particular application. Okay, so now we are going to understand some objects in MS Access, and then we will go to MS Access and just get a look and feel about it, and we will also design a table. So what are the objects? Objects means the most important things that we are going to work with, and that is the tables that we are going to work with. Obviously, we require a table because to store the data. All the data will be stored inside a table. Now, table will have rows and columns, very similar to what we do it in MS Excel. Even in MS Excel, there are rows and columns, and then we kind of locate a particular cell with the cell address. But we are not going to have a cell and cell address over here, but yes, there are rows and columns. Okay, normally columns, they represent fields. Okay, fields means what kind of data is going to store. Okay, so okay, we are going to come up with this, we are going to work on this, and then we have the second object, that is forms. Now, forms is very important for the user point of view, because using the forms, the user is going to enter the data into this table. Okay, so we give this form, okay, to the user basically, and it is used as a console for the as a way to interact with the application. Okay, and using the forms, then the user will actually retrieve the data, or it is going to enter the data into these tables. Okay, so we require forms for that. And then we have queries. Queries means, obviously it means certain questions. So obviously it is used for filtering data. Now we are not going to have a single table. We are going to have multiple tables. We are going to store data in multiple tables. Why we need to do that, even that we are going to understand. And then we are going to filter the data as per the requirement from this from a single table or from a combination of table. Okay, so basically queries is used for filtering the data in general, basically you can also do a lot of things with the queries. You can do manipulations, you can do an kind of a data entry also, but generally speaking it is used for just filtering the data as per your requirement. Okay, and at the last then we have the reports, which is also very important object. Obviously when you have done everything, you require a hard copy of it. You require a, or even if you don't require a hard copy, you require it on your screen, that what all things, what exactly the report is. Okay, and then you can take a hard copy, you can take a printout of the reports from that particular from the data that you have, and this report is very very important. Okay, so obviously we are going to understand table. So table is something like this. As I said, it is going to have rows and columns. So the first row, now this is 1 2 3 and 4 rows, but you're not supposed to count the first one, because the first one is going to hold the field names. Okay, so these are the field names. That's the ID, roll number, student name, class and section. So basically this table is going to hold the data of all the students in the entire school. If you talk about one particular branch of a school, so it is going to store the entire data of that particular school. Okay, so this particular table will hold the data of the entire school. So you can see I've said roll number 14, name is Ajay, class is 6A, and the next is 15 16. Okay, I've given that into a series, but you can assume it's just a random numbers. And over here it is Nitin and 6B, and then the roll number 16 is Aditya, which belongs to class 7th A. So basically this data is going to hold the data of the entire school, of all the students. Okay, and then we can easily filter out the data for a particular class and section, or for a particular student we can easily locate. Okay, as I said, using queries we can easily do that. So with the help of queries we can easily filter the data as per the requirement. Okay, so this one particular table will basically hold the entire data of the school students. Similarly, there might be so many other databases that you need to store the data, like I mean tables. So basically we can also have one more table, that is the table for the employees or the teachers. So there will be another table which will hold the data of all the teachers, the basic information of the teacher into that table. So that will be called as a, you know, a table, teachers table. This we can call it as a students table, right? And then there are so many other employees also. Then for them we can also have another table. So obviously when I talk about a school, so these all tables will come into action, will come into picture. And obviously every organization has its you know, has their own data, and their own employees, their own customers. So obviously a company which has a huge number of customers, so basically they need to store all the data of the customers. So in that case also they are going to make use of a table where they will store all the data of the customers. So different organizations, companies will maintain the table as per their requirement. Okay, so this is a table and these are called as rows and columns. Okay, these are rows. So this one is the first row, second and third. At this point there are only 3 rows. I said we are not going to count this because this actually belongs to the fields. Okay, as you can see out here, that is the column and field. So ID, so obviously ID means there is a, it's kind of a unique number that every record will have. We are going to come to this. Then this is the roll number, and this is the student name, this is the class. So it is telling you that this data, what exactly it means. It means it's a class. This particular data indicates that it's a section. So that's the work of the fields. Okay, now the very important thing is the ID. Now ID is a primary key. Now what exactly is a primary key? A primary key is a, you know, is a unique number associated with every record. Now this is the most important thing to understand in our DBMS software. Every table must have a primary key. Okay, every table must have a primary key. Okay, so you can say that this is a primary key. So the ID is 1, 2 and 3. When I say that primary key is a unique number associated with every record, means every record, so this one complete entity right from here and all the fields that represents one record. For example, roll number 14. What's the name of roll number 14? Roll number 14's name is Ajay. And which class does he belong to? He belongs to class 6. Which section does he belong to? He belongs to section A. So that's one complete record, right? So every record will have a unique number, like this has a unique number 1, that this has 2 and 3 and so on. Okay, and it is not possible that two records, these two records or this record will have the same number. Okay, duplicates are absolutely not allowed. A primary key means every record will have a unique number, and this is very important for filtering the records. Okay, when we do a lot of filtering, when we generate reports, this primary key is what matters a lot. And not even that, we are going to link the tables. When I said the word relational database management system, it means that we are going to have a link between two or more tables. Two or more tables will be linked with each other, and then from that table we are going to generate reports. Okay, so slowly you're going to understand. This is just an introductory tutorial. Okay, so primary key, again I repeat, it will be a unique number for every record, no duplicates. Every record will have a unique number. Okay, so that's the introductory part. Now let us just take how exactly the MS Access looks like. Okay, so I'll just go to MS Access. So MS, okay, I'll just type Access, and you can see Access 2016, and this is what your Access will look like. And at this point you have to just take a blank database. Okay, a blank database. So you have to just click over here, that is a blank desktop database. Give a double click. You can also give a name by default. Okay, you can give a name. You can just save as to and give a name to your database afterwards if you want. Okay, at this point, okay, this is the menu, and normally this is a kind of the same look and feel it gives to you that we have in MS Word or in Excel. Okay, so one by one we are going to understand the menu part as we go along with the series. Okay, at this point I'm just going to talk about these objects. Okay, now you can see by default there is one table, and name of this table by default is table 1. Okay, and this is called as the navigation pane. Okay, so we're going to navigate to different objects using this particular navigation pane. And this particular area over here, which you kind of see kind of an Excel kind of look, right? It's a kind of spreadsheet kind of look, but this is not a spreadsheet. Okay, this is called as the data sheet view, a data sheet view. Okay, now understand that the first thing that we need to do in any DBMS software is that we are going to design the table. Table designing is the first part. Now what do you mean by table designing? Table designing means we are going to design a table. For example, I just showed you an example for student table. So obviously there were around, if you talk about the student table, and you see over here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So there are 5 fields, right? So I have to decide that this particular student table, how many fields it can have. Now over here, roll number, name, class and section, but that's not the only information that I collect about a student. I can have the contact number, the guardian names, and there are so many other information that I need to keep, right? So all that fields also I can add. Okay, so I have to decide how many fields the table is going to have and what kind of data it is going to hold. For example, roll number. So what kind of data the roll number is going to hold? It is going to hold the number data, that is the number data, right? So you can see there are only numbers over here. Over here it is the characters it is going to hold, or a mix of the numbers and characters. Okay, this is going to hold character as well, and this is going to hold one single character or maybe 2 characters. Okay, possible. Okay, So that is called as table designing. So that is what I need to do. Now we can design a table in a data sheet view itself, but we are not going to do that, and that's not really a good approach. You are supposed to give a right click onto the table. By default there is one table. You are supposed to give a right click and go to design view. That's the design view. Okay, go to design view, and then it will ask you to first save the table. Give a name to your table. By default it is table 1. You can give the name of the table like student. Okay, and click on OK. And now this particular screen, or this particular section that has appeared in front of you, it is called as the design view. Design view, in which you are going to design. First we will design the table. Once the table gets designed, then we are going to enter the data into the table. Okay, now by default you can see that there is a ID, and this data is says it's auto number. Now there are many data. These are all data types. Data types means the type of data one particular field is going to hold. Okay, as I said, roll number will hold the data type, that is number. Then we have, if you are going to store the date of birth, then it is going to hold a data which is kind of date. Okay, and so on. So one by one as we go you will understand this. But this ID holds a data type which is called as auto number. Not only a number, but it's an auto number. Now why it is an auto number is because I told you the definition of a primary key, because this ID is going to act as a primary key, and you can see a small key that is over here, the small picture of a key, which indicates that this is a primary key. Primary key should be unique, as I said, for every record. So this is going to be an auto number, which means automatically a unique number will be entered for every new record that gets created. So every time you enter a new record into a table, automatically a unique number will get entered. You are not supposed to do anything. You will not do any entry for this ID, because it is possible that human error, it is possible that you can try to enter duplicate numbers, right? So this we will leave it to the to MS Access to just feed one particular ID to a particular row, and it will be a unique number. Okay, understand that MS Access has its own jet engine. Now what exactly is a jet engine and what it does, slowly we will understand this. Okay, the jet engine is basically take care of everything onto whatever things you do, like generating an auto number, or when you filter the queries, everything is where the jet engine comes into action. Okay, now the next field I'm going to say student name. And now most probably do not give any space when you design your table. Okay, do not give any space. So I said this S is capital and N is capital, so I can easily read it as student name. Okay, at this point do not give any space. Okay, and then just keep this as short key. The moment I clicked over here, the short key is by default selected. You can select any other data type as you want. Okay, but this will be a short text. Why short text? Now you can look over here. These are kind of the attributes, the field properties. Now it says that this particular field can hold the characters of 255. So I can enter maximum 255 characters. So student name cannot be around 255. We cannot have a name of that long. So I can just make this as 100, max to max 100 characters. Okay, so that's the field property. So I'm keeping the size of this particular field as 100. So user cannot just keep on typing its name. Okay, just to have some fun. So maximum 100 characters. Second, I will keep it as, okay, I just forgot the roll number. No issues, I'll just make that roll number. And again, I'm not giving any space out here, okay, at this point. And then roll number will hold the data that is number, isn't it? Then I can give as class, and class will hold the data that is short text, but it will not, we don't require 255 characters. I'll just keep this as maybe maximum as 15 characters, maybe possible we may require 15 characters. And then I'll just simply give as section. I can keep max to max, I guess, 2 characters. Okay, so that's about the simple fields that we have just entered, and we have also decided what kind of data it is going to hold. So student name is going to hold the short text, roll number is going to hold number, class is going to hold text, section is also going to hold text, but it is only of 2 characters. Class is going to hold only 15 character max to max, and student name 100 characters. Okay, and then what you need to do is there is a small just close cross over here. Okay, just click on that and it will ask you whether you want to save the changes to the design, and just click on yes. Okay, and now you can see that's your table. How to open it? Just give a double click, and now this table is opened again in the data sheet view. That's the data sheet view, and you can see id is an auto number, so it is giving you new. You're not supposed to enter anything out here. Now please understand, you as a designer, you can directly enter data into the data into a table, I mean to say, sorry. So into the table in the data sheet view, okay, we can directly enter the data into the table, but normally that's not the procedure. Normally we have forms, as I said earlier, to do the data entry or to enter data into a table. But at this point I'm directly entering the data into the table using the data sheet view. So I'm just saying name is Ajay, and the moment I typed something, you can see the ID has become 1. By default it will start from 1. You did not enter anything into the ID. Why? Because ID is auto number, and second, it is a primary key. And then roll number I can enter as maybe 12, class I can enter as class 6, section as A. Okay, now I've just clicked on this particular, you can say, cells. Okay, but you can also use a tab. Now after clicking on here, you can directly click over here, or from here you can directly press the tab key. Okay, if you press the tab key, it will come to the next row and to the first field, that is the ID. So again, if I press the tab key and I go to the student name, so over here I give like Vijay, roll number maybe it is 15 or 20, class is 8, section maybe is B. Okay, then I'm just clicking the tab key and I'm going to the next field. So using the tab keys, you can go to the next field as you enter the data. Just keep on pressing the tab keys. For at the first moment, just use the mouse click to the first field or to the new field, and then use the tab keys and enter the data. You can use the mouse or tab keys to move to the next field, and from the next field, at the end of the field, it will go to the new row, you can say. Now at this point, how many rows do I have in this table? There are only 2 rows, and the IDs are 1 and 2. That's the primary key. This is the roll number, this is the class, and this is the section. So this is how you're supposed to design your table and enter some data, but this is not the right way to enter the data. Again, I repeat, for entering data in a table, for the user point of view, always we have forms, but as a designer, you're doing it directly into the table. So this is just an introductory tutorial. In my upcoming tutorial, we are going to move ahead with this MS Access, and trust me, it is one of the most powerful application for designing applications for mid-size organizations. And there are almost anywhere you move outside, almost we have the mid-size organizations. Okay, it is not a database software that is meant for for some multinational companies where there is a huge amount of data. For that we have another platform to work with. Okay, but we are not going to work on that platform, and we are going to stick to MS Access. Okay, so that's about the MS Access introductory tutorial. In my next tutorial we will move further. Okay, that's it for today. Bye for now.